Hello, good evening. How y'all doing today, man? We in the middle of voting season. Rain like hell today in Smyrna. Bunch of trees and stuff messed up the neighborhood. Power went out for a little while, but everything is all right. We're in the middle of still of the pandemic, the voting pandemic going on right now. Everybody going crazy. People going crazy on Facebook, social media. All I can say is if you vote, go ahead and vote. If you want to vote and you want to have some voice, then please vote. I voted for the first time in I don't know how long, a couple of weeks ago, and I made me feel a certain kind of way. But anyway, I'm all right. But today, Curtis Davis, Conversations in C minor. We're gonna talk about one of my favorite English rock bands of all time, who got me, almost got me, one of the bands that got me into rock music with Led Zeppelin and other bands like that. Talking about Genesis, and I'm talking about Phil Collins. Genesis got me into it. I heard Peter Gabriel Genesis later on, but we're gonna start off with the Peter Gabriel and go in chronological order of their work, of some of the stuff that I own. But anyway, I love Genesis. Tony Banks on keyboards, Mike Rutherford on guitar and bass, and the old days they had Steve Hackett, amazing lead guitar player, and Peter Gabriel on vocals. But we're going to start off with 1972's Genesis albums. Foxtrot. Anybody know about Foxtrot? We got some Yes fans that love this stuff as well. Progressive rock fans, King Crimson fans, Moody Blues fans. All listen to the same stuff. This has "Get 'Em Out by Friday" is my favorite song on here. Of course, "Watcher of the Skies," and then of course "Supper's Ready" is on here, and Phil Collins drums and vocals, and Peter Gabriel lead vocals, but Phil Collins is hitting his chime in on the drums, and he was a hell of a drummer. Still is, he kind of hurt right now, I think. But the reason I'm doing this is because they're touring next year. I wish I could see him, but they're not coming to the United States. Who knows? I might fly to England to go see Genesis next year. That would be something, the first in my life. But anyway, Foxtrot, 1972's Genesis album right here. Peter Gabriel lead vocals. The next album they came out with, 1973's Selling England by the Pound. Selling England. I can't even fucking talk right now. Selling England by the pound. England by the pound. England by the pound. We all, we got that going on. Also, too, uh, what is it? What's the song? Firth the Fifth. More Fool Me. Man, I know what I like. Yeah, it's a little poppy. And still progressive, still awesome. The playing on this album is awesome. I love rock bands and bands that can play instruments. I still love the old R&B. That's why I don't like new R&B music. I don't listen to it because back in the old days, these guys were playing. The old, Isley Brothers, Earth, Wind and Fire, Curtis Mayfield, them guys were playing. But that's why I like bands like Genesis. But this is Selling England by the Pound. Phil Collins background vocals, lead vocals Peter Gabriel, Tony Banks on keyboards, of course. Mike Rutherford playing most bass and a little bit of acoustic on this album as well. Steve Hackett on lead guitar. Great album. The next album they did, kind of messed them up because Peter Gabriel wants to write it himself. He wrote all the lyrics. The rest of the band came up with the music. Phil Collins said one of his favorite things was smoking a joint and playing The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway back in 74, 75. The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway, 1975. Favorite song on here, Carpet Crawlers. And what's the other song on here that I like a lot? I put my old man glasses on. Oh, of course, the Lamb, the Cocoon is awesome too. Back in New York City. This is a great album. I like it. It took me a long time to get into it later on because I got into Phil Collins Genesis first. But this is 1975's The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway. And they had some problems with, Peter Gabriel left after that album because him and Tony Banks was arguing all the time, and Mike Rutherford, but I believe it was between him and Tony Banks mostly. And they didn't even know it, but they had already had an amazing lead singer in the band at the time, was Phil Collins, because he sang on one of the songs on The Lamb Lies Down. I mean, not The Lamb, Selling England by the Pound. He sung on one of those songs, More Fool Me, or Fool of Me, or something like that. But anyway, the next album they came out with, 1976's Wind and Wuthering. It was just a 4-piece. Steve Hackett still on guitar. No, I'm tripping. I'm going to vinyl. Hold up. Skip this. Not skip it, but forget it for a second. Split second. Going to vinyl. We got this one on vinyl. 1976's The Trick of the Tail. With Swamp, Trick of the Tail. Dance on the Volcano. This is a great record. Genesis, 1976. And they started getting more into they were always melodic, but they were getting a little bit more commercial, starting with this album, I believe. Not all the way, but a little bit more. Trick of the Tail. The next album they did had the same 4-piece because Peter Gabriel had left the band. A lot of people didn't think they can do it, but that album sold a lot. And after The Lamb, it took people a while to get into them. They toured The Lamb and just played The Lamb. I'm sure that tripped out a lot of their fans. But anyway, they did A Trick of the Tail, and they came back with Wind and Wuthering, 1977 or 76, in 76. Wind and Wuthering, with the 4-piece lineup with Steve Hackett on guitar, Phil Collins on vocals. The song on here that's probably Your Own Special Way and Afterglow are the best songs on this album. Afterglow is a great song, actually. Wow. Great record. Genesis. Next album they came out with, Steve Hackett was having problems with the band as well. Tony Banks, of course. I think Tony Banks was the egomaniac in Genesis, as far as I'm concerned, because he ran them like with an iron fist, and he ran Peter Gabriel. He ran Peter Gabriel out of Genesis, I think, and not on purpose, but just personal, just difficulties. Didn't want to fight. Peter Gabriel wanted to be solo, and he went solo. But anyway, Steve Hackett left the 3 band members. Was Phil Collins on lead vocals and drums, Tony Banks on keyboards, and Mike Rutherford on bass and guitar. It came out with the album entitled, And Then There Were Three, with the hit single Follow You, Follow Me, written by Mike Rutherford. Everyone thought Phil Collins wrote it, but Mike Rutherford wrote it. Phil Collins just put hellified vocals on it. Yeah, so I love it. I love it, man. Follow You, Follow Me, and then what is it? It's another slow song on here that I like a lot. Many Too Many. And Undertow is cool too. This is a great album. A good album. The next album they came out with, got on vinyl, 1980s Duke. And I heard this on the radio when I was in Chicago. And they played Misunderstanding and Turn It On Again was the hits on this album. And this is a great record. Misunderstanding. And then what's the other song on here too that Phil Collins wrote? Please Don't Ask. And Phil Collins was writing stuff for a solo album. He actually put out his first solo album after this, which was In the Air Tonight, with Face Value, had In the Air Tonight on it. But we're not gonna talk about that. We're gonna keep talking about Genesis. But this is a great band album for them. Duke's Travel, Behind the Lines, Duchess. This is a great record. I love this record. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna listen to it tonight. After that album, probably one of my favorites, Abacab, with the song Abacab, Man on the Corner, No Reply at All, Lurker, man, Like It or Not. This is a great record. Keep It Dark. And they was playing this all day long in Chicago when I was a teenager. And this is one of the things that got me into Genesis, this album and the one before it, Duke. And I became a lifelong Genesis fan because of that. And then, of course, hearing some of Phil Collins' solo work as well. But this album right here is one of my favorites. Some people, like I say, they compare this to Peter Gabriel's era. And, you know, to each his own. You live your life, you go on, you move on. You know, Peter Gabriel left the band, and they went on without him. 1981's Abacab. Abacab. Yes. Then it came out after that. I'm gonna do one live album because they had two live albums before this. I didn't talk about those, but this one here, 3 Sides Live, got the studio cut on here on the 4th side of the album, with the studio. Paper Late, they played that on the radio a lot. Paper Late, used to hear the live version of Misunderstanding around that time too. I did. This is a great record, 3 Sides Live, and it has the Abacab tour live. That's what it is. I've had this CD here, man. This double, they don't even make this is out of print because they don't make it with that studio side. They put extra live stuff on the 4th side. You know, when they re-released this. But anyway, 3 Sides Live. Phil Collins. Phil Collins was becoming popular. He was already popular with Alpha's first, around that time he came out with what is it, Hello I Must Be Going with I Don't Care Anymore, which I love that as well. And the first 2 Phil Collins solo albums are the best, as far as I'm concerned. The rest of them I really didn't get into. Susa Studio album was One More Night. I forget the name of that album. No Jacket Required. I didn't get into that one too much. I mean, it was all right. It was all over the place, but it was okay. I like the Hello I Must Be Going with I Don't Care Anymore, and It Doesn't Matter to Me. And what's the other one? Face Value with In the Air Tonight. Came out 1983. Genesis. Just a Job to Do. Mama. That's All. Man, yeah. I love this album too when I was in and just getting into high school. I had the vinyl. I gave the vinyl away to somebody. I don't even have. I wish I still had it, but I don't have it anymore. But this is Genesis 1983 with great songs on this album. Great songs. Home by the Sea. Just a Job to Do. Like I said, it's going to get better. Taking It All Too Hard is, man, forgot about that one. Man, Genesis. By that time, Phil Collins was all over the world and solo, and Mike Rutherford got a band, Mike and the Mechanics. They had some hits. So by the time they came out with the next album, 1986's Invisible Touch, which I really don't like that song. I love Tonight, Land of Confusion, and Too Deep, and Throwing It All Away. But not a fan of the song Invisible Touch. But this was a super hit. I used to have this on vinyl. Don't have it on vinyl. I do have it on vinyl. What I'm talking about. Tripping. Invisible Touch, 1986 is, and this is a good album, a good commercial album if you like it. Like I say, it's different from Lamb Lies Down on Broadway and Selling England by the Pound, but still a great band. 1991's We Can't Dance with the song I Can't Dance. What is it? No Son of Mine's. Jesus, He Knows Me. Man, this is a good album. Tell Me Why, Hold On My Heart. I think after this tour and after this, Phil Collins decided to stay solo and be solo. He was tired of the band. Not tired of them, but, they were friends, and he did the right thing. He could concentrate on a solo career. They ended up getting back together, of course, in 2007. But yeah, this is the last album, his last studio album with Phil Collins there. They had one more album after that with Ray Wilson on lead vocals, and this album is pretty good. It doesn't suck like people think it does, because Phil Collins on it. It's still got Tony Banks on keyboards and Mike Rutherford on bass and guitar and songwriting, and it has some Genesis elements, and his vocals are all right. This is called Calling All Stations, 1997. It didn't sell well. They had a tour in England. It didn't do well. They was going to tour the United States, but the tickets wouldn't sell, so they didn't do it. But anyway, Genesis. Curtis Davis, Conversations in C minor. We are still in the middle of the pandemic. Everyone be safe. Wear your mask and all that stuff. Take care of yourself. Take care of your people. All you girls on Facebook right now and in the world doing it. What is it? Challenge of 5 looks matter or something like that, and I don't have 5 looks. I got 1 look. Actually, no, I do got 5 looks, but I ain't got time to take pictures of it. I mean, if you want to see my 5 looks, you just look at my Facebook page and look and see the different looks that I have. But anyway, I love you, ladies. You guys, love you, musicians. Rock it out. Keep rocking. Love you guys. Vote. You got Halloween coming up. Don't scare yourself and look at these scary movies. I might watch Halloween in the next few days. Old school Halloween. But anyway, Curtis Davis, Conversations in C minor. Genesis is touring next year. That was for Genesis, Phil Collins, Tony Banks, Mike Rutherford. And a special shout out to Steve Hackett, who used to be in the band as well, great guitar player. And shout out to Peter Gabriel, who went solo with Sledgehammer and things like that as well. So, love you guys. Love Genesis. And I'll see you guys soon. Curtis Davis, Conversations in C minor. Please like, comment, subscribe on my YouTube page, and keep it going.